In today's video, we're making burger buns. Now I've done them on the channel before, but never as a standalone video. So I thought I'd show you today exactly how we make them. And I'm starting with 500 grams of strong white bread flour, and then just place that into a mixing bowl. And then we'll make a well in the center. And here I've got 7 grams of fast action yeast, and I'm gonna place that on one side. And then I've got 10 grams of salt, and I'm going to place that on the other side of the bowl. And next I've got 30 grams of sugar, and I'm just going to place that into the center of the well. But don't worry if you don't eat sugar, it's optional, you don't have to put it in there, you can just leave it out. But it does add a little sweetness to the dough, and likens it to something like brioche, because this is an enriched dough, and it also helps activate the yeast. And then we're going to pour in 300 milliliters of tepid milk and 25 grams of unsalted melted butter. Mix it all together using a spoon or fork until it all comes together to form a dough, and then we're going to turn it out on the bench and knead it. Once it comes together, you can get your hands in there and really bring the dough together. And once your dough comes together and looks like this, we can then place it onto the workbench and start kneading it. And I think I'm going to move this giant chopping board out the way too. And when you're kneading, all you want to do is use the base of your hand here and push it out, and then roll it back, and then rotate it round and keep repeating for about 5 to 10 minutes or until it's completely smooth. There's no real right or wrong way to knead, you just have to move and work the dough as much as you can. And the more you do, the better you get at it. And then once your dough looks nice and smooth like this, you can shape it into a ball. And then we're going to place it back into the bowl and cover it with a damp cloth and leave it for 1 hour to 1.5 hours, or until it's doubled in size. Now that our dough is doubled in size, we're going to remove it from the bowl, and we need to divide it into 8 equal sized pieces. Now you can just guess this by eye, or if you want you can weigh out the dough and then divide it by 8 and weigh each individual dough ball out. And then once we've got them all equally sized, we just need to roll them into nice rounds. So using the palm of my hand and placing it over the dough ball, and then rubbing my hand around the bench like that, pressing the dough to the bench to create friction, which creates a ball. Just like that. So with that now done, I've got a baking sheet with some parchment paper on, and I'm just going to place the burger buns onto the tray with a nice little bit of space between each one. And then using my fingers, I'm just going to firmly press each one down as flat as I can get it. So now we need to leave them to prove and rise a second time before we bake them. So I'm just going to cover them with the same damp cloth as before, and then we'll come back to them in 1 more hour to glaze them and then bake them. So it's 1 hour later and we're at the final stage. So I'm going to crack 1 egg into a bowl, and then we're just going to whisk it up. Brush each burger bun with the beaten egg evenly. Now if you don't want to use egg, you can use milk or a plant-based milk substitute if that suits you better. And sometimes you can add in a little bit of sugar or honey, and that just helps give it a nice shine. But I'm just going with egg because I really like how it looks when they bake. And then for a final touch, you can just sprinkle them with some seeds. These can be sesame seeds, fennel seeds, mustard seeds, or I'm using onion seeds. But any seeds that you like is absolutely fine, or you can just leave them plain. We'll now place them into a preheated oven at 180 degrees Celsius for 20 to 25 minutes, or until golden brown. So that is our burger buns ready. And now all we have to do is place them onto a cooling rack to cool before we use them. So that's how I make these delicious burger buns. Watch out for the next video where I show you exactly how I'm going to use them. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.